So while the sun is being a little bit, I guess, covered by the clouds, I'm going to do some grounding, or what's also known as earthing. I do this quite a bit in my own garden. There's something about doing it in a place like this, however, that's a little bit more profound.
So I decided to stay one more night at the Pine Canyon campsite, partly because of these beautifully clear skies and the almost zero threat of rain based on what I was seeing.
Try if you can. Tell me you don't like my songs anymore. I'll hold your hand. I'll be the locksmith when you need a door. Don't you hold back. I'll be the excess when you just want more. I'll do it all. I'll be the one who you hate to adore. If you can see, you'll see where the beauty resides in me. There's so much to see. And maybe we'll go for a walk, you and me. Don't have to go far. Just open your eyes, look around, and you'll see. Now that you see, it's easy to see beautiful what can be. Just what have we done? They look past her beauty, I become her beast. I see from afire. I'll bring you the horror, the tears, or the screams. Can you hear that? 2 cars passing by. The first one didn't get me. This one got me. Incidentally, this song is about, it's called No Wood Fires, and it's about being here in nature, looking past the beauty of nature. It's hard to imagine someone taking the Pine Canyon Trail on right now, someone who isn't going to dedicate a good portion of the day to it, because as you saw, there is plenty of life in these areas, and this song really kind of capitalizes, for lack of a better word at the moment, on a subject and it asks us to ponder, what have we done? So let me try to get through it without making a mistake this time. Just what have we done? They look past her beauty, I become her beast. I see from afar. I bring you the horror, the tears, and the screams. It takes only you. Could this be a nightmare, or is it just dreams? Now hear the cool breeze. Just walk into nature by rivers and streams. We follow along. They poke us and tell us to march to a song. They don't see you there. They honk and they pass and now you are all gone. Keep feeding the fire, but don't put her out and the fire can go wrong. If this was a dream, then tell me, would you know the words to this song? Tell me. Do you know the words to this song? I don't. I'm reading them off of a notepad. I'm doing my best to play this instrument and read off of a piece of paper the words to a song that I wrote some time ago, and it tells a story. And the interesting thing about today's compilation of songs that I'm just picking at random, seemingly at random, the last part talks about people and bears at the same time, if you really read. I mean, if you really pay attention to the wording of it. So I'm going to read the last part of this song. We follow along. They poke us and tell us to march to a song. You know, poking the bear. We've been poked a lot recently and had to march along to our song. And bears are prodded and told to get out of the campground area during times of extreme drought. In this park anyway, based on my personal observations. If anyone wants to discuss that, of course, the comments will be open on this video. And also, on top of that, I'd be lucky to be invited to have a way to participate in these groups that think that they know, but they weren't actually there at the time when this was happening. So anyway, they don't see you there. They honk and they pass, and now you are all gone. I wrote that after I had stopped my car on Basin Road, and I got out and I was stopping people because there was a mama bear and 3 cubs passing at the same time, crossing the road. And I was standing trying to hold the traffic from both directions, and I did pretty well at it until someone in a luxury sports sedan zoomed around the stopped car, zoomed around me, almost hitting me, and almost definitely almost hitting one of the baby bears that was in the road. So they honk and they pass, and now you are all gone. It has to do with the compassion that we project to ourselves first and foremost. We can't hardly project compassion onto someone else if we don't have compassion for ourselves. So it has a lot to do with how we treat one another. So if someone was stopping the road for a row of ducks that was crossing, you know, the highway, would you stop, or would you be very impatient because, you know, you had things to do and you weren't on Mother Nature's schedule? You never were. What if you were? And what if going around that, what if going against that was causing a mass die off. They honk and they pass, and now you are all gone. Keep feeding the fire, but don't put her out, and the fire can go wrong. Now, I have a lot to say about fire, but the main thing is that if we are stewards of this ecosystem, we might want to consider doing without a lot of the things that cost us in terms of geothermal temperatures. And you can take that however you want to. The climate challenges that we're facing can either be dealt with on an individual level, or we can like write a whole new script, you know, immediately to try and help to communicate properly across, let's call it the interwebs, the world, actually, in a way that's successful. I'm trying to do it via music and showcasing the nature that I get to see, even while sitting in uncomfortable conditions for quite some amount of time, and for walking, you know, crazy distances in some cases, just to see what I can show. Anyway, the next line says, "If this was a dream, then tell me, would you know the words to this song?" I don't remember my dreams from last night. Actually, I should reword that. I have a vague recollection of my dreams from last night. And if I try real hard, I can try to remember. I can almost feel what was done. It's almost like when you hear a familiar song. And even though I didn't remember my dream, or even though I'm not able to recall it accurately right now, when I woke up, it was to a bear right outside of my tent. And this park that I'm in right now, that I've been visiting for quite some time, I've seen bears every time that I've come to this park since 1993. And, well, I shouldn't say every time, but I've seen bears since the very beginning when I started coming to this park. There were a few times where I visited this park and I didn't see any bears, but I was really so good at it that rangers actually wanted to ride along with me to see their own first bear. And it always depended on the person. You know, I've taken people to this place, brought people to this place, and they were believers. They were absolutely believers. Like when you said, look, I could even say that I've been expecting to see a bear around this corner, and then suddenly there would be a bear around that corner. I don't know what that noise was. Anyway, there could be anything out here. Could be a mountain lion stalked up trying to figure out what my voice was in this contraption. But literally, this is kind of my type of dream. I wish I could sing better to tell you the story better. I wish I could remember the songs like that I was being, like, you know, paid to do it so that I could actually put my energy into this. And if I were, then I wouldn't have to spend so much additional time trying to actually raise money to pay for these frivolous things that I'm doing, like staying at this campsite for $10 a night. I shouldn't be wasting anyone's time. I shouldn't even deserve some of the things that I have if I'm not putting in the effort. But I'm putting in a lot of effort trying to tell a story about wildlife, and I'm doing it in the only way I know. And I'm also telling a story that ties us all together, that says sometimes being in an isolated area is the only way that I can have a creative flow. And many of you understand what I'm talking about. Many of you are the subscribers who have been quiet so far. I know there's some subscribers that are commenting, but they're not really participating in the same way that we know is necessary. And so for that reason, a lot of us stay real quiet. And I've stayed quiet for a long time. And now I'd like to just read you a few more songs. I hope you enjoyed this one. It is called No Wood Fires. And I wrote it while sitting at the Cottonwood campground. And I was there playing the song, or learning to come up with the song during the COVID situation. And I was way down at the end of the parking lot, and nobody was there. I shouldn't say nobody, there was a roadrunner there, and it jumped up on the table. Like, I was sitting right next to a park table. I had my own chair, but I was sitting next to the table, and a Roadrunner jumped up on the table and listened to my song, and it helped me come up with the first parts of the song. Try if you can, tell me you don't like my songs anymore. And it was something I was singing kind of to the Roadrunner. The Roadrunner is my audience. You are my audience. The wildlife around here is my audience, and some of them genuinely show an appreciation for this effort. So I hope that you can also genuinely show that appreciation. Please click on the thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for understanding how distracting it can be when cars are just driving by isolated areas with plans of rushing through a circumstance instead of slowing down to take in the actual scenario. Where did you go to, my dear? Hope it's a place of no fear. Don't know how you disappear. I pray you reappear. Missing girl, where did you go? I hope that you're not alone. Please, girl, just answer the phone. Wish you could get dial tone. Missing girl, tell me where did you go? We've been searching high and low. Where did you go to, my dear? Hope it's a place of no fear. Don't know how you disappear. I pray that you reappear. So one of the things I don't like to do is to take down a wet tent. And even though there's a 0% chance of rain, everybody knows that my preference would be to not get rained on. And so the odds might not be in my favor because of that, just based on some of the things that have been going on. However, that might work out in favor of the majority. And in terms of whether I'm going to stay or go, well, stay tuned.
Let me just clarify, I love getting rained on, but not the night before I'm going to pack away my tent. By the way, did that plane flying over earlier cause any of this cloudy situation? Just curious.
It's 1 o'clock. It's beautifully shady, and that's keeping the temperatures pleasant. But I'm still working up a pretty good heart rate, just moving things back and forth to the car. But now that I'm at my basic setup, I want to show you what I've got in here. And I'm going to show you what's here before, and then what it breaks down to, so that you can see just how intelligently designed these items are. And if I haven't said so already, this is also a shout out for Helinox for making things right. When a piece of my gear failed during the last trip, they made it right so fast that I had the replacement leg in plenty of time, even for this unexpected follow-up trip to the trip that I just took. So anyway, hats off to Helinox and Big Agnes also for following through on warranty claims. That's the tent that I'm in, is a Big Agnes tent. None of this is an endorsement. It's just talking about real products that are made by real passionate people who really stand by and honor their products, and don't let you down when things kind of go a little bit off. So anyway, let me show you what I've got instead of yapping so much. Here's my Helinox cot. I think it's called the Cot Max, Cot 1 Max or something, convertible. Convertible means that you can place these legs on the bottom so that you're not just right on the ground, which is opposite of the thing that grounding recommends, but I find it more comfortable to sleep on a surface that's made out of this smooth material instead of jagged broken rock like as you see right outside here. And then I've got my table here, which has some, as you can see, some beverage holders, and my chair. And that's all inside of this big tent. So that's how I use the basic configuration in this tent. You know, I've got a seat where I can play some music. I've got a table where sometimes I'll have my refillable water bottle or whatever I happen to have. And so with those things, I'm pretty set for a good amount of just kind of relaxation. This is the cot without the legs. Pretty low to the ground, but also equally comfortable. So there's the bed broken down, and I usually leave my chair up while I'm putting away the bed and rolling up the table. Now here's the rolled up table. I usually put it in the same bag that my chair is about to go into. So there you have it. This is a super small footprint compared to everything that was inside here previously. That all fit into these two bags right here. And both of those things collapse down to fit into under the footwell space of the folded rear passenger seat. Here comes the rain. The tent, of course, folds down pretty smartly as well. So pretty much my entire sleeping quarters fits in one of the back passenger seats, and everything transfers over really easily back into this vehicle. So it's 1:44, and I was a little bit, I guess, dehydrated feeling, thirsty feeling, and so wanted to have a hydrating snack that's also extremely potent in terms of its healing properties. These are really good. The thing that I'm looking forward to even more than that, though, is some chilled water. So that's nice. That's the first chilled water I've had in days. There are things that we take for granted, like the silence here, the solitude. For that whole period in time while I was taking down the tent, not a single car came through here. And so I had to keep turning around and checking behind me and everywhere, because as quiet as it can be in this place, knowing the animals that walk around here, sometimes when we're not paying attention, things could tend to try to sneak up on us. And I've had that happen on a couple of occasions, birds being the more common curiosity or curious animal. But anyway, the main thing I wanted to say is that I've got the entire site taken down. Really, the only thing I would need to do to head back home is to pull off these, the window shades or the screens, and that's about it. Start up the car and go. But it's very pleasant in this ventilated cabin right now, and it's only coming up on 2 o'clock. And so I thought I would stay put. Sunset is in 4 hours anyway. And so maybe I'll just stay put and stay here one more night in the Jeep Inn, and we'll see what else we see. So for those of you who clicked on, yes, stay there one more night, well, you got your wish. But you might be curious to find out what happens when you click on the other link. If I put another link up there that shows what happened if I opted instead to head home early. So it's about 1 hour before sunset, and it's pretty quiet right now. You hear a couple of birds, but I have to say it's extremely quiet. The day got warm enough, sunny enough to where we should have seen all kinds of reptiles, variety of critters. I did hear some hawks. There are a lot of things that go uncaptured when I come to a place like this. Things that I see, things that I hear, things that I do. And so you're just kind of getting a snapshot of all the stuff that happened. And I'm compiling it all in a way where it's like, you really do get to see most of what I see. You really do get to experience most of what I experience. Right now, the only thing though, is you can't experience the cool temperature that's enveloping me right now. It's not quite chilly, but while the sun is behind the clouds, it feels cool, like really cool. When the sun comes out from the clouds and the solar radiation hits me directly, it feels somewhat uncomfortable. It's it can be pretty overwhelming, especially when the sun is up high. And I'm sure a lot of the plants and animals feel the same, especially the animals that have fur, which is why that bear was out and about before sunrise, making its way up the mountain range here. And once again, my mind just kind of wanders back to the fact that someone was missing up there for long enough that they had the rescue planes searching overnight. I heard planes today, but not quite in the same way. So I don't know if they were just finishing up the search or what. But at a certain point, everything stopped, and the cars coming to take on the trail system didn't stop. It was pretty busy. It was a busy day, and again, that could make someone overlook all of the things that are missing. There are definitely some insects flying around. There's some little tiny ones flying by my nose right now. There are birds, and once again, I kind of want to say, but I'm not sure. I kind of wanted to say that I think the bear is hunting campsites, or was hunting campsites, looking for anything that it could find. Because, again, you know, as a bear roaming this whole area, I can imagine, here comes that sun, I can imagine getting a little bit concerned, especially if I was a mama bear, or soon-to-be mama bear. I couldn't tell if that was a mama bear, just from the small screen that I'm looking at. I'm sure we'll all be able to tell looking at a bigger screen. But I'm sure I would be concerned, you know, what nutrients am I going to be able to find prior to the oncoming winter? In the meantime, as I said, we're coming up on just basically an upcoming evening with cloud cover that has dissipated. The sky might be clear, and I happen to have my last digital camera with me. It's a point and shoot, it's pocket sized, but if the conditions are right, I might try to take some nighttime shots of this amazing view of the sky, and hopefully I can do that. Whether or not I do, I hope you guys are doing all right, and hope that you're enjoying the virtual trip to Big Bend National Park. I also wanted to get just a quick visual of what I'm working with. When I leave in the morning, I'll be backing out of this site, turning around, and then heading on down the road here, back down the hill, I guess. It's all downhill from here. You can't really hear it in this clip, but just before I hit record, there was a bobcat or a mountain lion that started to do some screaming.